silence. I look on violence, up, down, left or right. Is there no hope of life? The peaceful hand that once caressed me hurts like the rest because it's turned to stone. Talons of steel have grown. Throw down a line, help a poor boy who's drowning in a stormy sea. Throw down a line, help a poor boy who's hanging in a nowhere tree. Have you got a place for me?
Cliff Richard is back in the charts once again with a hit record that he's made with Hank Marvin. And in a recent interview, David Wigg of the Daily Express asked Cliff about this song.
Cliff, Throw Down a Line seems to be a very untypical Cliff Richard record. You're making a comment for a change on one of your singles. What made you decide to do this?
Well, I suppose it's just waiting for a song to be given to me that had something to say, really. You know, images are something that I don't go for very much, but the public and a lot of press people sort of give you an image. And the same goes for songwriters. You know, if they send a Cliff Richard song to me, it's usually bouncy and happy, or it's a love ballad. But Hank wrote this song, and in fact, typical, he didn't give it to me. I just happened to hear it by chance, and I thought it was a tremendous song. I liked it very much instantly, and said I want to do it. And that's probably why I've never done one before, and that no one's ever actually handed me one.
Is this likely to result in a cycle of Cliff Richard doing comment songs? Do you want to have songs that have got more to say than some of the romantic, popular songs you have done?
Yes, I do feel that comment songs have their limitations. I'd rather comment vocally, on talk programs and things like that, and say what I feel, because I always think you can embellish what you really mean by a lot more words without having to wait for the rhyming at the end of the line, you know.
Are you afraid that if you start expressing a number of opinions through songs, popular songs, you're going to lose a lot of your followers who may not agree with the opinions you're expressing in your songs?
No, and that's why I think that if we do a song that has a comment, it simply has to be a good song, so that people, whether they believe in the philosophy of it or not, it doesn't matter, they buy it as a song. You see, but comments, no matter what you say, I could say them and I'd be disagreed with, as I am now. I mean, just being a Christian brings up tremendous disagreement from a great lot of non-Christians. And I know that, but that's life, you see, and I don't mind that. But I might just say that I don't intend to just do comment songs now. I mean, I may not do another one for like 4 records. I mean, at the moment I haven't got one to do. Although Hank has written a couple of other ones which aren't quite so heavy as Throw Down a Line. They have more of a comment. You know, he's done a marvelous one about roads, motorways, a sort of a sarcastic look at houses being torn down to sort of build up our God, the car, you know. And again, do you know what I mean? And it's a good song, and I like it, and I shall do it. But I think my next single will be just a lovely ballad that I have, which I like. I don't think one should get hooked on anything. You know, people that have, quote, bags are a drag, you know, because someone usually zips the top up and you get stuck inside it and you're there forever. And I don't want to have a bag, you know. I want to be free to throw down a line. My next record, I hope, will be called So Long, which is just a straight, lovely ballad. And, you know, and if something comes along, I'll do it.
Now, you're in your 11th year in show business, aren't you? That's right, isn't it? How is it, when you look back on that very first hit, Living Doll, what does it mean to you now? Do you sort of cringe, or do you still like it? Or what is your reaction to that very first sort of rock record, Living Doll?
Well, I don't really cringe at it, actually. And in fact, of course, it wasn't my first hit, because Move It was the first one I ever made, and that was number 2. But Living Doll was my first million seller, and that's the one they all remember, you know.
Yeah.
No, I don't cringe. Listening to the record, I think it's all right, but I sound terribly young on it. But then, of course, I was, you know, and it was the sound of that time. And I wouldn't knock anything. I hate knocking things that are successes. I can say whether I like them or not. Living Doll, when I first heard it, I hated instantly, and so did All the Shadows. And our arms were twisted into doing it, and we gave it a new arrangement, which came out kind of countrified, which was Living Doll the way it was heard. And it was a million seller, you see, so we have to admit that we were wrong about that particular one.
But it's so not like you now, isn't it, your present image?
I think so, only because everybody changes, whether they like it or not. You know, you get older, and your ideas mature, and you have different ideas that come along. It doesn't mean that you've made a drastic jump from one style to another. It's just a matter of bringing in a lot of other styles to your own and sort of making something new happen.
What are your immediate plans for the future then, Cliff? Career-wise?
Career-wise, let me see. I'm going to be in Japan in October, and I'm doing a TV series, that's right, for BBC, starting in January, 13 half-hour programs, and I've got Hank with me and Una Stubbs, 2 of my favorite people, so we're all right. And we'll have guests, of course, but we're going to try and think of some kind of format which uses the 3 of us regularly for the 13 weeks, with guests to sort of make us look good.